The police dog. In England, one cloudy afternoon, Bobby was walking down the street when he noticed his friend Eddie walking ahead of him. As he got closer, he saw a large, intimidating dog following Eddie closely. "All right, Eddie, I'd be careful if I were you. There's a very dangerous looking dog right behind you," Bobby warned, his voice sounding a little concerned. Eddie turned around and smiled. "Don't worry, Bobby, that's my dog." Bobby looked surprised. "Really? He looks dangerous. Does he bite?" The dog let out a low, rumbling growl, its eyes fixed on Bobby. Eddie grinned, only when he wants to. Bobby took a cautious step back. "In that case, I'll keep my distance." Eddie laughed. "Don't worry, he's well trained and highly intelligent. He used to be a police dog." Bobby's eyes widened in surprise. "A police dog? That's interesting, but he doesn't look like one at all." Eddie smiled knowingly. "That's because he used to work undercover." Bobby raised an eyebrow skeptically. "An undercover police dog? Really?" "No offense, but I don't believe you, Eddie." "No offense taken, Bobby, but looks can be deceiving." Bobby, still curious, asked, "How long have you had him?" "About 2 months," Eddie replied. "Does your wife like dogs?" Bobby inquired. Eddie shook his head. "No, she hates dogs. She won't let him in the house." "Where does he sleep?" Bobby asked. "In the back garden. He doesn't like it though. He barks all night." "Did the neighbors complain?" Bobby asked. "Yeah, so I put him in the front garden," Eddie said. Bobby shook his head. "That dog will get you into trouble. Mark my words." "I never worry about the neighbors, Bobby. One thing I've learned is to make everyone happy is impossible. To annoy everyone is easy." Just then, Bobby noticed a policeman crossing the road, taking an interest in the dog. "Well, here comes trouble right now," Bobby said, nodding towards the approaching officer. The policeman walked up to Eddie and the dog, giving the dog a scrutinizing look. "Is this your dog, sir?" he asked. "He might be. Why?" "This morning I received a report of a dog matching your dog's description. He was seen chasing an old man on a motorcycle." "Well, it wasn't my dog," Eddie answered. "He doesn't ride a motorcycle." "Very funny, sir. Very clever indeed," the policeman said, shaking his head. "I shall watch my word order." "You do that, and I will watch that my dog doesn't get out of order." As the policeman turned to leave, he took a final look at the dog and said, "One of our police dogs is missing. Have you by any chance seen a lost dog around here?" Eddie thought for a moment. "Well, a few weeks ago, I noticed a strange dog digging up my neighbor's front garden. He seemed to be looking for something. I see, the policeman said, raising an eyebrow. What did you do? I took away the dog's shovel. The policeman sighed, shaking his head with a slight smile. Very funny, sir. Well, if you see that dog again, please contact us. Have a good day, sir. Self-help. Tom was a middle-aged man who had a practical approach to life. He believed in hard work, common sense, and a good cup of tea. One Saturday afternoon, he decided to visit his favorite bookshop, Book Off, to pick up a book he had read a review about. As Tom wandered through the aisles, he noticed his friend Jerry standing in the self-help section, deeply engrossed in a book. Tom couldn't resist the urge to sneak up behind him and see what had captured Jerry's attention so completely. "Hey, Jerry, what are you reading?" Tom asked. Jerry jumped, nearly dropping the book. "Oh, Tom, you scared me," he said, holding the book to his chest. "What have you got there?" Tom asked, taking the book from Jerry. Tom squinted at the title. How to Increase Your Brain Power by 50%. Really, Jerry? Jerry blushed. Well, I thought it might be interesting. Can't hurt to be a little smarter, right? Tom laughed. Do you think you can handle another 50% of brain power? It might be dangerous. Jerry grinned. Not just 50%, Tom. I was thinking of buying 2 copies of the book. That'll give me 100%. Tom shook his head. Good luck with that, Jerry. Might be a good idea to check with your doctor first. Don't worry, Tom. I know what I'm doing. They say we only use 10% of our brains. I read that wasn't true. But in your case, maybe it is. There are a lot of big words in here, Tom said, flicking through the pages. It might take you a while to read it. Jerry looked at Tom and asked, By the way, Tom, what are you doing here? Well, to be honest, I came here to buy the same book. Can't hurt to give it a try, Tom admitted, holding up the book. Okay then, I better go home, Jerry said, tucking his books under his arm. Remember what I said? Don't overdo it at your age, Tom teased, giving Jerry a playful nudge. What do you mean at my age? I'm not that old, Jerry said, frowning. You're old enough to remember the moon landing, Tom replied with a grin. Well, I watched a documentary last week. They said they faked it, Jerry said. What? The moon? Tom asked, confused. No, the landing, Jerry said, shaking his head. All right. Anyway, see you in a few weeks, Jerry. By then, maybe we'll be able to have a more intelligent conversation, Tom said, chuckling. Looking forward to it, mate, Jerry replied, laughing as he walked away.